Evening and welcome to the PinkUn show, our dedicated Norwich City shenanigans that is yet to tell Wesley Moolahan the news. I'm Michael Bailey. We are here at the Woolpack Public House near central Norwich, and we are going to cover over the next 30 minutes or so all the key Canaries discussion points from Saturday's Preston draw. We're going to look ahead to the final home game of the season against Leeds at Carrow Road on Saturday, as well as reminisce and pay tribute to a genuine legend as the Irish magician's spell on City is finally broken. All this in the company of another Norwich City all-time great. The man Wesley Hoolahan replaced, no less, Darren Huckerby, and season ticket holder Chris Elliott. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Yep, not too bad. Now you've got the Wi-Fi working.
Yeah, thanks for that, Darren. We like to keep people on their toes. Chris, you well?
I'm very good, thanks. Yeah. Looking forward to Saturday now. A game that's got a purpose, whereas it didn't look like it would have.
No, it would have been a very drab occasion. I don't know if Sean can get in on the T-shirt. Look at that. Not only is it a special plug for the TNC, but it is, of course, a Wes Hoolahan tribute T-shirt. Great to have you both on, gentlemen. Much appreciated. Now, we are live. I don't know where I'm looking, but we are live on PinkUn.com and the PinkUn Facebook page, and we want to hear from you too, be it on your hopes or worries for next season, your questions for Darren, and your Wes Hoolahan tributes. Especially, we want to hear your favourite Wessi moment in yellow and green. We'll try and get a definitive one if we can. You can read mine at PinkUn.com. All those thoughts you can get through to us all here at the pub. Simply post your words on the Facebook page, the PinkUn Facebook page, fb.me/thepinkun, and they will ping, hopefully, right through to my phone. There are a few coming through already. Now, as you can see, Wesley Moolahan is blissfully unaware, but that may be about to change. Darren is going to ring the bell as well, so this is very exciting. Here are this week's Norwich City headlines. It's not nearly enough. City hold Preston to a goalless draw at Deepdale and leave Alec Neil's playoff hopes in tatters. It's not much to go with, but we'll take it. Beautiful work, Darren. Wexit! So it's really happening. After almost 10 years with the club, Wesley Moolahan will play his last game. Wesley Hoolahan will play his last game for the club on Saturday against Leeds, and he gets a testimonial in the next 12 months. Saturday will be special. Plenty more words on all this to come. Evans Elpham. Ipswich Town owner Marcus does a video interview for the first time, albeit with the club's media team. Still, they seemed pretty pleased with it. I won't joke about it anymore, though, given Richard Ball's last week pointing out the lack of Delia Smith interviews in recent years. All quiet on the Tetty front. Like Wes Hoolahan, Alex Tetty is out of contract at the end of the season. No announcement yet, so we're still left watching this space. And finally, Get Social. Norwich City Fans Social Club signs off for the season at Carrow Road on Thursday night. There will be Jenga, so what's not to like? Head along and get involved in what is a great club for Canaries supporters. One more ring, Darren. That is stellar work. That is 10 points. That's the best we've had it done, Darren. Look, we know what the big talking point is. We'll get onto that, but I'd like to get through the regular business first, if I may. So, Preston, Darren, decent point or a sign of just how far Norwich have fallen?
Not a shot on target. That's a downside. Obviously, Preston have done well this season under Alex Neil. Any away point is a good point, but it is Preston. Should we be going there trying to get all 3 points, or just going there to hang on? So it's a good away point, but should we be trying to beat teams like Preston? I don't know.
How good is it to be thankful that Norwich haven't rolled over at the end of the season, Chris? Because that's almost the positive I've been offering. They could have just turned over. They've got nothing to play for. But I don't know if it really works like that for players. And is that really enough to keep us going?
It's the sort of game where we could easily have lost 3 or 4-0, and I wouldn't have been too surprised, to be honest. I struggle to worry about what happened to Preston, to be honest, though. If we had lost 3 or 4, I wouldn't have been gutted. It's been a slow, painful death this season for me, and it's another game nearer having a break and trying to fire up everyone for the next season, really.
I was kind of hoping the Alec Neil factor would liven things up on Saturday, but do you reckon that had any bearing on it for anyone?
Not really. I think it was more desperation for them. They had to win to have any chance of the playoffs, and you could say we did a job, but I think everyone just wants this season finished now and just regroup. There's going to be some big changes in the summer. There's going to be a lot of big changes, and let's hope that they fall more positive for next season, really.
How hard? I'm sure you had this situation as a player where you had little to play for at the end. How hard is it? I mean, we talk about it and we bring it up and we ask everyone about it, but is it hard?
I don't know. You've always got something to play for. Whether players are moving on, players are looking for new clubs. You're trying to establish yourself in your team. You're trying to get in the manager's good books for next season. So there's always something to play for. I'd be very disappointed if the lads were thinking about going on holiday already. It's 2 big games to go. So hopefully everyone's mindset is, because everyone's future's up for next season. There's no doubt about it. Whether you're going to try and move to the Premier League or you're trying to get a new contract or you're looking for someone to come and buy you. So there's a lot to play for still.
And Chris, 15th clean sheet, I think, in the league, which is getting close to what Norwich have managed as a record in the top flight. Might even have equalled it. That's a positive, foundations to build on.
It is. It's one of the things that has been, a plus point for the season. Is we had some big wobbles early on in the season, a couple of heavy defeats, but we have sorted it out. Grant Hanley's obviously a late buy, probably a panic buy, to be honest, after the debacle at Millwall, and he's helped fix it. But the others have done the job as well, and we've had a really good goalkeeper behind them as well. So whilst we fixed it, a lot of that defence is now going to change again. So it's a problem that we've solved for just now, but come August, it's got to be solved again.
Oh, Angus. Right, let's have a look at some of the questions we've got through here and comments. Alan Monument, good evening, gents, all the way from a very sunny Wirral. There we go. The Wirral. Been to the Wirral, Darren?
Probably. Don't know where it is, though.
Liverpool, Merseyside. Chris is nodding, that's good. Barry Newman, hi Darren, great to see you. Legend! ! Thank you very much. Might get that a bit, mightn't we? What else have we got? Daniel Rivet, Tyler Dexter, is he fat? Anyone know what that means? Tyler Dexter? Anyone? No. Cheers though, Daniel. Appreciate the comments. Always good. John Messiges checking in from Boise, Idaho, USA. We might talk about USA in a bit, Darren, because you've been there.
Wesley Hoolahan might be there as well. No idea.
You never know. It'll be interesting. We're definitely having that debate in a bit, by the way. Seb Taylor, we need to get a striker, and Wes will surely be missed. But we still have Naismith and the boys on loan, so could make a difference. Well, that's the first positive comment I've seen about Stephen Naismith in months, so that's good. Let's hope we can get back to the Premier League. Seb, that would be a nice sometime soon. You can take in all our post-match videos from Deepdale, including my video verdict. They're all at PinkUn.com. But I think that's probably enough about last weekend. Let's turn our attentions to this and the end of an era. It was confirmed on Monday that Wesley Hoolahan will play his final game for the club against Leeds after almost 10 years of stellar service. Since then, the tributes have flowed from all quarters, and make sure you send us yours too on the Facebook feed, and we'll read them out most definitely. There are loads more over at pinkun.com too. We'll get these guys to have a word in a moment, but I'm going to dictate that this segment is called Wesley Hoolahan because we still had a sting and we hadn't used it. So Dan, let's roll the sting. I feared it was the last time we were going to get to use it, so there we go. Chris first. City fan, long-time City fan. Where does Wes really rank in the scheme of things?
Well, up with the very best that I've seen in pretty much 30 years of watching the club now. Everyone's got their strengths. The guy next to me is another one. Grant Holt would be another one. And there's others too, but he's unique. They've all got the special talents. And Wes is a kind of, for me, he's a once-in-a-generation player, but not even just for Norwich City. You won't find players like Wes dotted around the Championship, even the Premier League. They're a kind of a rare breed, and I think we've been really, really lucky to have the best years of a super talented player to enjoy.
Darren, unique position really, because you've sat in the stands, you've had a season ticket, so you've been a paying customer, and you've played the game. You know what it's like. What is it about Wes and what we've seen of him, do you think?
Well, starting off, he came here to replace me, so I've been keeping an eye on him ever since. Really.
Did he do a good job, do you think?
Well, not as left winger, which he came as at first, to be honest with you. No, he came as a left winger, and obviously we got relegated the next season, but then Lambert put him in his favourite position. And I don't know, to show how good a footballer he is, he's not quick, he's not particularly strong, he's not particularly big, but technical ability just shows how good a player he must be. He's by far the best player I've seen in 10 years while I've been watching.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, by far the best player I've seen at Norwich City.
It surprises me in a way that he hasn't gone on, or was it that Norwich kind of went with him in a way? He took Norwich with him.
I don't know. I think we were quite successful in some of the times he was there. I know they got relegated, but obviously they bounced up 3 times. Played in the Premier League. I know we probably had a little bit of a wobble. I think when Villa came calling, but the less said about the better. But that happens. Good players are going to get touted by other teams, and to stay at any club for 10 years is a massive achievement, but also to do it with a style and a swagger. And he's a very quiet lad, but he goes about his business, and every team that plays against him will know what a good player he is.
Spot on, well said indeed. Chris, do you have a best moment in terms of Wes? I mean, touched on it. I think I flagged up it was Charlton at home quite early on, because that was when it clicked. And as you said, Darren, when he finally got to go centrally and it all seemed to happen. But I don't think that's necessarily his best moment. It's just my favourite.
I love the goal that's had probably as much airtime as any this week on social media, the goal against Rotherham last season. One defender gets sent to check in at the Holiday Inn. The other defender and the goalkeeper, he checks back in and leaves them both sat on the floor. And that just sums up the kind of guy he is. He scored some long-range goals, he scored different kinds of goals, but that was, for me, the essence of Wesley Hoolahan. He just, by pure skill, ends up rolling the ball into an empty net in front of the Barclay.
Spot on indeed. Barry Newman, he says Wes was a model pro, good character and always wanted to make something happen, worked tirelessly for the team. Yes, has given the ball away, but fitness-wise, second to none. Irreplaceable. How many pros stay at the same club for 10 years? David McKenzie, we will miss Wessi, but time moves on, step up the new heroes. Top Wes moment, tough, but that goal against Forest, never losing to that lot down the road. I mean, that is a phenomenal record. I mean, that just sort of adds to the legend, I guess, doesn't it? I mean, you had a pretty good record against them as well, Darren, but to do that, it puts you in such high esteem with the Norwich City fans.
Of course, because you're going to get remembered. Ipswich have been rubbish there for 10 years, but that record against your rival, to not lose a game, but to win most of them as well is a great thing to have, and he should rightly be remembered as one of the best players ever to play for Norwich City.
Spot on indeed. We'll touch on where next as well in a moment. Barry Newman, rumours Birmingham want Hoolahan. I don't know if I can see him going to Birmingham, but he thinks he deserves to go overseas and to make an impact. How good was your time abroad, Darren? It's like Barry's read the script. But I mean, you went and played in the MLS, and I think it does sound like MLS, Australia, A-League are maybe places that Wes might fancy going to.
Yeah, to be honest, I think probably the A-League would suit him more than the MLS. I think the MLS, it's he's 36 now, and he's never been the quickest or strongest, and over there's a lot of athletes. So for me, I think the A-League would probably suit him, but he'd probably want to go and live in California. So, Wes has got a good enough ability where he'll go and fit in anywhere, but he isn't getting any younger, and it does get a lot harder as you get older.
Yeah, and I guess he'll have to gauge what he wants to do. I mean, you were a fair bit younger, weren't you, when you went over to the MLS? So I was
32, so 31, 32. So, I knew I had a couple of years left, and that's what I decided to do. And I still could run and still could move. So, whatever Wes decides to do, he'll make the right choice, because he's that kind of lad. He just gets on with it and does what he's got to do, and he's done that throughout his career. So, it's going to be sad to see him go, but whoever gets him will get a model pro.
And there must be a degree of Wes will have a degree of excitement. I know there'll be sad, and there'll be all the tributes and everything. It's going to be quite an emotional few days, but there'll be excitement with him going to a new country and experiencing that sort of life. And I mean, I remember the facilities up in the States are second to none, and something similar to that in Oz.
I would probably think that, knowing the type of person he is, he's been in and out this season. He's not been guaranteed to start, so he'll probably want to play. He'll probably know he's got 1 or 2 seasons left at the most. So he'll want to go and play, and if he can go and get football in the sunshine somewhere and show people what he can do, I think that'll be better than him staying here for another year playing 5-10 games, and then you're really losing you forget how special he was, and sometimes you don't want to overstay your welcome, and like I said, I think it's a good time for him to move on.
I mean, happy birthday to you for this week, by the way, which was brilliant, because it gave us the gift of that interview again all over Twitter, which I'd forgotten about. What a wonderful piece of television that is. But that kind of underlines as well, if you move and go somewhere new, that excitement that can be around you, and that can maybe regenerate those feelings of excitement and playing at a new club. Yeah,
there'll be excitement, but also it might be, not the cauldron on you all the time, press all the time. But you can go there and chill out a little bit and enjoy your life, and he's got a family, and they might want to go and just enjoy the last couple of years where it's not pressure all the time. He might just go and enjoy his football. So I think it's a good move for him if he ends up going abroad. I'm not sure about Birmingham. Why would you go to Birmingham?
Well, it's not abroad, Darren, so it's right. But yeah, I mean, they're in trouble.
Birmingham in general, what you want to go, I'm obviously played for Coventry, so I can have a dig at Birmingham. So
had a degree with you as well. We've got Paddy on as well. Brilliant stuff. We're going to get some more tributes, but in the meantime, I spoke to Grant Hanley after the game on Saturday. Here's what he told me about getting to play alongside Wes Hoolahan.
No, I don't think I need to talk about it. Wes is a legend, isn't he? And the things he's done for this club are, it's unbelievable. Credit to Wes. He's a great lad, and he's You know, it really is. You kind of buy characters like that around the football club, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant to have around, and you know, he's a credit to himself the way he conducts himself, and the way he is in training. And I mean, I don't even need to mention his quality, because you can still see the ability he's got is unbelievable.
Because when you'd have come up against Norwich as well before you came here, you'd have always looked for his name on the team sheet.
I hated playing against. Whenever I've seen his name on the team sheet, and he's the type of player that I hate playing against. Because he's so small and nippy, and you think he's lost the ball, and he's still got it at his feet. Even in training now, you still see it. You get close to me thinking, right, I've got him here, and then he nips away for you. But no, certainly didn't enjoy playing against him.
That'll be end of an era stuff, won't it?
No, I think so, but it's not really for me to comment on that and see what's going on. But since I've been here with Wes, he's, like I said, he's been a credit to himself.
Good stuff there from Mr. Hanley. Mark Newster says, I have to ask, do you call Alec Neil Alec just to wind him up? No, Mark, it's because it's how you pronounce his name. Right, what else have we got here? Best tribute. Tribute came up about the best tribute for Wes Hoolahan. He's going to have a testimonial, which for a lot of people I think felt like the right thing. Statues, retiring shirts and things like that. Is there anything else you'd like to see on Saturday? Chris, wearing your T-shirt?
I think they've done it the right way by just giving us a chance to recognise his last game for the club. I think that's the single most important thing that the club have got right, and we know that they've got it horribly wrong in the past, and fair play to the club for doing that. Lots of debate about the testimonial. It's good, we know we're going to get one. We've got this game to focus on. For me, this will be more important than the testimonial. It's a part of a season. Testimonial isn't a league game at the end of the day, and I will be at the testimonial for sure, but doing it right around his last league game is the best tribute we can do for Wes, in my view.
I mean, we don't need to go over your exit again, do we really, Darren, I suppose? I mean, you'd just be glad that proper players who have shone get their chance to say goodbye. Does it niggle you still, or?
A little bit, I suppose. I suppose it niggled the fans more than me. The way it was handled was probably wrong, but the club probably known for 4 or 5 months that Wes is not going to be here. So I think doing it like they did for Ewan Roberts, I can remember when it was his last game, the way the fans were that day. I think it'll be exactly the same as that, and it'll be a great send-off to a superb player.
Yeah, spot on indeed. Let's have a look at more of your tribute, shall we? Daniel Gould, sad to see Wes go, legend. Even my wife is upset, and she hates football. So there we go. What else have we got here? Hughtopia, wouldn't it have been good to have seen Hoolahan and Huckerby in the same team? Chris?
Wow, yes.
No one would have been able to touch you. Would you like to have played with Wes?
Well, Wes is the type of player that makes everyone else look good. So, his weight of pass, his vision, if you can't play with players like that, you shouldn't be playing. So I'm pretty sure that I'd hold up there as well. It'd have been a pretty scary combination.
We'd have all like that. Carl Shaw, Wes is the most talented player at the club. His creativity is there for everyone to see. I think Madison has learnt a lot from him, which I think is a very decent point there. Katie Lee, I consider Wes a brother, part of the family for eternity. I'm gutted. He made football so enjoyable to watch, and I never thought I'd see that kind of quality in a Norwich City shirt. If he was slightly quicker, stronger, he would have been in the Prem top 4, and then you wouldn't have had as much of him. You see, Katie? So there you go. That's a thing to be thankful for. Roger Green says, tell Darren to look behind him. There's a strange bloke at the bar who keeps lovingly looking at him. I think he's walked off. That's a shame.
I think he just touched my bum a minute ago. I'm not even joking.
There we go. Paul English. Under Houghton, we said no Wes, no win. For years, he was our main player, and teams couldn't handle him. If he was on song, so were we. Loads more. Keep them coming in. We'll go through as many of them as possible. And, of course, lots of other questions coming through. One here, Barry Newman. Will Hux play in Wes's testimonial?
I never played for Wes, but if you want me to, I would do, yeah.
Get the call in, Wes. Likewise, Wes could now play against Forever Inter, I think. Are you in that game? Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, he might be the legs we need, to be honest with you. Looking at some of the older lads that are playing, we might need someone with. Don't worry about that. I'm going to try and get him to play for Crinklewood Vets.
Yeah, that's
that's more important. He's 36 now, isn't he? Enough, he can play.
Could you match a package on offer from the A-League, do you think?
I'm pretty sure we won't be far off.
A few barbecues to do it, wouldn't it? Brilliant. Gunny must be in good shape, though. Gunny's been in training, hasn't he, for the game? So.
Not the last time I saw him.
That's pretty harsh. Right, I think on that note, we're going to have some brief respite from all the Wesley Hoolahan emotions. And we're going to get these guys to have a go at this. Oh yeah, we're on. We're back on. It is Flip the Bird. And last time out, Richard Balls proved he's as good with his bar mats as he is with his words. A sublime 12 took him tied top with Steve Cook, while Neville Townsend at least notched his PB up to 5. All of which means Chris Elliott gets another go at beating his present best of 7, while Hux, who can be pretty competitive on his day, I believe, understatement, gets a go to show what he's got. Look at these two, they're so ready. 30 seconds to flip as many beer mats as you can. The winner gets a much prized selfie with Wesley Moolahan. I feel like I'm keeping these guys waiting and will forever be deemed more Darren Huckerby than Glenn Robird. That doesn't work. Are you ready? Yes. Dan, 3, 2, 1, go. 30 seconds start, or Darren there's feeling the pressure already, but he's up to 2. You should go try and catch them, Darren. That's the best way. That's just about. Oh, Chris has caught them, and he's moves nicely on to 4. Chris has got a steely eye in his head. Is that what you'd say? I'm not very good at commentating. That's the thing I've learnt this year. Darren's, they claims that time's going well. Dan's concentrating. This is nip and tuck, decent accumulation. Not quite the robotic technique of Richard Balls last week, but it's quite frenetic and it's working. And that is time. Whatever you've got in your hands, we will claim. The pub's gone silent. The pub is ready to see what it is. Chris, 8 apiece. That's pretty. Are you happy with that, Chris? That's your best.
PB for the season, yes.
I mean, you have had 3 goes, which I think is 2 more than most people. But
Gloss over on my first go, yes.
Well, Adam downed a pint for you on the first go, didn't he? But we don't do those sort of shenanigans now. Darren, happy with 8?
Well, I'm normally drinking when I'm in the pub, not messing around with beer mats. So I'll take 8.
Never mind the talking and sat next to a cow ringing a bell. I mean, this is not your normal pub experience, I know. So that's good. We appreciate you coming. Top man, well, those guys get 8s. That's all good. Should we roll? Have we got the thing again, Dan? No. So we won't roll the thing again. Instead, let's have a chat with you, Darren, shall we? We know all about the Colney exit and all that's been addressed. How's it been since? Have you had tempting job offers coming through?
I've spoken to a few people, but to be honest with you, it's nothing that really floats my boat. To be honest with you, my family's here. I don't want to be moving away for 6 days a week. It meant a lot for me to work at the club. Obviously, thinking about bringing Norwich players into the first team was a massive thing. So, maybe doing it somewhere else isn't quite for me. So, I'll do a bit of media stuff. Obviously, I'm doing the radio on Wesley's last game. So, yeah, I'll do what I need to do. But I'm pretty chilled out, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, it'll be pretty good, great fun covering the BBC Radio Norfolk and doing all that stuff. In terms of Kings Lynn, now they might have a manager's job going next year. Darren, you could set out on your own at Norfolk's premier non-league football club.
I'm going for Simon Lappin, player manager. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
King of Spain.
Have you been in his ear?
No.
Are you going to be his agent?
No. King of Kings Lynn, he could be, couldn't he?
He could. I love it. It's straight over my head. I'm too tired for all that. That's all good. What have you made of things since at the club and at the academy? Because they obviously had big changes. There was quite a fair degree of criticism after those as well. We've since had the Canaries bond, and they've raised £5 million and they're going to build a load of stuff, and they keep going on about how there is going to be an extra weight on the academy and what it produces for the club going forward.
The fact of the matter, the changes that were done, as in the infrastructure, the pitches, the new building needed to be done. We are miles behind. Going to different clubs for the last 5 or 6 years, seeing other academies, we are so far behind now that this work needed to be done. Simple as that, just to keep up with everybody else. So I'm glad it's being done, but you can't have a great academy but have a bang average first team. So it's got to be a balance. And at the minute, the first team wise, it's not been a great season. You can go with transition or this. The fans will be expecting a lot better next season. So I think this is going to be writ off this season. It's a building block, but we've got to start bearing a bit of fruit next season, because the fans pay a lot of money, and finishing 13th, 14th in the league next season won't be good enough.
That's a cracking point, and we had loads of questions coming through, obviously, about the current situation away from Wes Hoolahan. Billy, if we sell again this summer and bring in new players, it's going to be another transitional season of uncertainty, maybe. It's a difficult one, isn't it, Chris? Because I personally believe I can see it. Another season of, they haven't quite got the group settled enough to go again. It's not going to happen next year because they've got a lot of work still to do.
Yeah, I'm lucky we'll come on to teams for Saturday, but a kind of 11 that I've picked to play on Saturday, you can make a case that Jamal Lewis might be the only guy who's here next season. it's as blunt as that.
You're done with them all, Chris.
Well, no, but I think for various reasons that they'll be either sold, they're going back on loan, they're out of contract, or we want to move them on. There's those different categories, but it's going to be a huge summer of turmoil. So my worry is that it's been a season of transition now, but we've not got 7 players that are going to form the basis for next season in the first team now. We might have got 3 or 4, and so we're almost kind of rolling the dice again. I guess the only thing we have got is that Daniel Farke and Stuart Webber have had a year's notice of this summer, have been preparing, they know who they want to keep, who they can afford to keep, but they've got to get the big decisions right this summer now, because there's going to be a lot of change, and that's a risk. You don't ideally want to be making 7 or 8 changes to your first team in one season, but I think that's the reality of what's going to have to happen.
Spot on. Annie Aston, Norfolk. We seem to get rid or lose our best guys all the time. Annie, it's been happening at Norwich City Football Club for years and years and years. And Julian Cook, lost Pritchard, now Wes and Maddison in the summer. No midfield creativity, lack of goals and dodgy defence. Another difficult season looms, I fear. There we go. Now, I did want to grab Joe. Should we move? Can we do the move, Sean? I'll leave you gents there. You can have a wet your whistle, and I'll give you a break. Sean's here. Here's Joe. Now, Joe could possibly be the person who was lovingly looking at Darren earlier. I don't know. That probably was you.
I think it was him.
Are you sure?
It was him, yeah.
Now we had a massive Twitter spat last week because Joe wasn't on the show, so I did promise him to get some time. So, Wes Hoolahan tribute.
Wes, the planet is 4.54 billion years old, and we're lucky enough to be in the same time that you're playing for Norwich City.
You've quoted that from somewhere.
I have.
Another TNC plug.
Yeah.
They're doing quite well out today.
I see it.
You're welcome, Jack. No worries.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's been a pleasure to watch him play football. I mean, especially from the Lambert years when he was in that top of that diamond formation with Chris Martin and Grant Holt at the front. It was just a pleasure to watch. It was part of the reason you fall in love with football, watching players like that. So, yeah, it's sad to see him go.
Have you got a favourite moment? Is there one that sticks out?
Probably his hat-trick against Sheffield United. I think with that being his only hat-trick for us, it stands out in the memory quite a lot.
A nice shout. I like that shout. Now, is there a question you'd like to ask Darren, and then I'll take it back to him?
Yeah. Why did Glenn Roeder hate him so much?
Well,
he didn't deserve that.
Well, he didn't deserve it. There we go. I tried not to talk about all that period, and now he's laughing, and he is going to be in the background smiling at you, Darren. Why did Glenn not take to you, Darren?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't like big personalities. I honestly don't know. You have to ask him that. He's the one who can give you that answer. I've always been the same. I've been, got with near enough every manager I've played for. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Chris,
Darren's exits. It's still great with you a bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and even if you can argue about the exit, but then it's the manner of the exit as well. Yeah, clubs make decisions about players, but Darren deserved the respect of having it done properly, and that was the thing that, was shocking.
Indeed. Neil Austin, happy belated birthday, Hucks. Brackets Monday.
Looking old.
Feeling good for it though?
Oh, feeling strong.
Yeah.
In my prime.
Cringleford Vets had a brilliant season, didn't they?
Yeah, we've done all right. Yeah, we've not finished yet. Got cup final on Friday, so it could be a good night out after if we get the right result.
Just list who you've got who's turned out for you this year, because there's a few, aren't there?
Obviously, Ecky's the manager. Obviously, has got the last wine bar and Blue Joanna. Not plugging that at all. Roger Hickman, great restaurant. He plays centre forward.
Why have I asked this question?
No. We've just got a great bunch of local lads. Matt Gill plays every now and again, but it's not really the names there. It's a team spirit we've got. So.
No wonder you're not going anywhere. You get free food and drink everywhere. I don't blame you, really. Right, championship refresh with 2 games to go. Here is the championship picture, and gentlemen, it's somewhere in the piles. Wolves have been confirmed as champions and did it in style, but it's all kicking off behind them. Derby's win over Cardiff last night means it's all to play for, as well as giving the Rams renewed hope of figuring in the playoffs. It also underlined the damage done to Preston's hopes by Norwich. City are actually level on points with Leeds and can finish no higher than 12th. They went back above Ipswich with Saturday's point 2. Sunderland's Brewers droop meant they were relegated, while Barnsley's midweek defeat means who will join the Black Cats is far from sorted. So the penultimate weekend of the season starts with what is surely a free hit at Fulham, albeit against the last side to beat them. which is rather a phenomenal statistic. Villa Derby will be some game while Cardiff head to Hull. Burton against Bolton is another crucial clash. Likewise, the late kick-off when Middlesbrough host top 6 hopefuls Millwall. Kind of got a bit excited looking at the fixtures. It's a big couple of weeks, and you saw the atmosphere at Pride Park last night. Phenomenal, unless you're Yannick Bilshut.
Yeah, it's brewing up to be worth watching now, and sadly it's not going to involve Norwich City, but it gives us a little bit of interest on the sidelines. It comes down to me now, it's Cardiff's nerve going to hold, because they had a nice little cushion for a little while. Fulham have just kept coming and coming and coming. I'm not sure who Fulham have got last, but I'd bank Fulham getting 6 points, to be honest. And that means Cardiff need to win both to stay ahead of them, so they're going to be getting twitchy maybe.
Two best sides you've seen this season, do you reckon, Fulham and Wolves?
Best footballing sides, I think. I know they've had a bit of a blip, but Cardiff have probably been one of the toughest sides to beat. The most Championship-like, Warnock-like. So I can't see Cardiff chucking away 2 games. They've only got to win 1. So I see them doing that. They've got Reading as well. They've been poor all season. So I think it'll be down to them 2 going up, and then it should be a decent playoffs. I think that them 4 teams in the playoffs there will stay in the playoffs, and it should be quite interesting.
It will be very interesting, because there's a lot of money spent between those sides as well. I mean, we talk about Norwich and their budget, but there's a phenomenal amount that's been spent at the top. Norwich have kind of frittered away their money from the last 2 years, and you look at Sunderland. I mean, what a phenomenal disaster! And Chris Coleman going in there, he's had, let's be honest, no real effect on it either.
No, less than 2 years ago he was being feted all around Europe pretty much for getting Wales where they did in the Euros. Looked a bit of a strange choice of job, because I'm sure he had choices that he could have made. But it just shows that the Championship is unforgiving, and lots of money doesn't guarantee success. It can go wrong as well. So Sunderland's parachute payments, do they still get Premier League parachute payments in League One? I suppose they do they?
I don't think that'll help them with their huge wage bill.
A club on the rocks for sure.
Brilliant stuff. Norwich will finish above Ipswich, yes?
You'd like to think so, but like I say, Leeds will be thinking that they can stay above us. The Leeds haven't been great all season either, so it's going to be an interesting game.
Absolutely indeed. Right, let's get some more tributes, shall we? Chris, Ollie, Wes is a legend, top guy on and off the pitch. Wish him well. P.S. He should have had 50 more Irish caps at least. Shame you never got to give Hucks a proper send-off. Brackets. It's one for you, Hucks. Billy don't think Wes could still do a season in the Championship for any team, so Billy thinks he should hang around. Lisa Jack, hypothetical question, which means I probably should have read this first. Got to give an answer, no sitting on the fence. 1. Lose Angus and Maddison, but get a big name striker, or keep both, but only little money for a striker.
Keep both. 2 great players instead of 1.
We ain't going to get a big name striker anyway. No, we're not. Obviously, let's be realistic.
Sorry, Lisa, you're living in dreamland. Carl Shaw, Hucks is a legend. Nice to know he doesn't have any sour grapes. Don't think he has been treated as well as could have been by the club. Top man, in capital letters, top man. Barry Newman, if Darren was manager, sporting director, what striker would he buy? I like that question. Shall I leave you that to think over?
It's really difficult, because you want someone who's going to score goals, but you also want someone who's going to do well for the team. So it depends what kind of budget you've got. It's all right saying you want this side. If you've got £1 million, then you've got £1 million, and you've got to maybe go in the lower leagues. It's going to be difficult. The fact of the matter is, the 2 we've got at the minute haven't been doing the business. So it's going to be interesting to see who they bring in, or what they try and do to get the money to bring some money in.
Spot on indeed. Colin Lond, Wes was the equal to Tommy Bryceland, another wizard to wear yellow. Great shout there, I like that, Colin. Mark Newstead, Hucks, has Todd Cantwell got what it takes? I don't know to do what, but has he got it?
I think eventually, he's a talented kid. He's got to get toughened up. He's got to learn the men's game. That's why he's obviously playing in Holland at the minute. A season and a half ago, he wouldn't have said Maddison is ready. So it takes a bit of time, but hopefully eventually. I know Daniel believes in him, like he believed in Maddison, and it would have been very easy to play Naismith instead of Maddison this season, or play another centre midfielder instead of Maddison. So the manager's got to take a lot of credit for believing in him, and obviously hopefully it's going to pay fruits at the end of the season, whether he's here or being sold for quite a few pounds.
Quite a few. What would you take for James Maddison, Chris, in terms of millions?
Well, the market's going to go up every summer. You've got to be 20 million to even start a conversation. There's add-ons, there's sell-on fees and all these kind of things. Yeah, it's got to be the absolute minimum. We've seen strikers in the Championship going for 15 million. Some of them work out, some of them don't. So, assuming he's going to a top half Premier League team, it's got to be 20-25 million before we start talking about it.
There we go. Price tag has been sent. Ian Honeyman, I saw Louis Thompson on the treadmill at Colney a few weeks ago. Any news on his chances of making pre-season? As far as I know, he's still on track, but it's they're going to have
injury, so hopefully he's going to take a bit of time, but he's a good player in there, and it'll be another one we can add to the midfielders if we lose a few.
absolutely spot on. Katie Lee, again, lots to be positive about though. Godfrey, Thompson, Campbell, Morris all to come back stronger for next season. Billy Durrant and Matthew Reddy, thank you very much. Fulham have Birmingham away last game of the season, so they might be safe by them, they might not be.
Wes might be there then.
yeah, I think you could do that, just rock up for one-off appearance. Carl Shaw, Fulham deserve to get second spot, 22 games unbeaten. That is absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Neil Austin, with Wes and possibly Maddison off, surely leaves the door open for Morris, Leitner. Can we land such a talent? I think they're trying very hard, very, very hard. Barry Newman, what young players does Darren think we have in academy whom have the potential to break into the first team in the future? Which is always a horrible question because there's so much development to go on. But what do you think?
Obviously, the next ones are going to be Ben Godfrey. Whether he's had a good enough year to be straight into the Championship, I'm not sure. Todd Cantwell, obviously. Underneath that, you've got Adam Ida, who's could be one hell of a player. Still learning his trade, only just first year. So we've got a lot of players coming through, but it's getting the right development before they step into the first team. I think we got pretty lucky with Jamal. He didn't go out on loan, but because the other two weren't playing that great or the manager didn't really trust him, he got chucked straight in. So if Husband or Stiepermann had done all right, then Jamal probably wouldn't be in the team. So sometimes it happens that way.
What about Remy Matthews? Is he a contender to take over? Assuming we're going to be looking for another number one.
Well, he's had a great season at Plymouth. We are going to be looking for a goalkeeper. It looks like if Angus goes back, which it looks like. The others are quite a little bit older, so we will bring a younger keeper in. Remy's ours already, so he ain't going to buy him. He's already here. I wouldn't have thought he'd be on that much money compared to what other keepers might be on, so he might be the perfect replacement.
It's ticking a lot of boxes. Right, Leeds away to the weekend. Let's rattle through this quickly. It is your former club, Darren, so one of them. There's been one or two. I thought at the start of the season this was going to be their year. They looked really impressive and they made some really good signings, but got completely lost, had to change the manager, and the way it's finishing has been pretty awful.
Yeah, I think the manager there's now really struggling. I think the fans have kind of gave up on him. I'm not sure the players have, so they've been on a downward spiral for the last 15-20 games, so it's going to be interesting to see how they perform on Saturday.
Indeed. And we've got the teams here, haven't we? So Chris, let's have a look at your first 11 that you decided to pick. Dan's already away. Do you want to talk us through this? I'm a bit worried about the lack of height.
Yeah, so I thought, well, if there's only one last game for Wesley Hoolahan, we should have 11 Weses in the team. And I think
being funny, that team would be a mess.
Good to watch going forward, but we might struggle with crosses into the box at the back. Yeah.
All right, well, let's have a look at your real team, shall we? Your real team.
The only thing I was mulling over really was who's playing as the striker. I've gone for Nelson Oliveira. I think it's been right to give Dennis Sabani a chance to show himself. But he just doesn't look like a Championship striker to me. I want to win on Saturday, and so I've picked Nelson Oliveira because I think he's more likely to score a goal than Dennis.
And Darren, let's have a quick look at your 11, how you see that side. I mean, it's a 4-4-1-1 as well with Wes pulling all those strings.
Yeah, obviously I've gone for Reed at right back because I think he's been better at right back than Pinto, if I'm going to be honest, defensively. I've gone for Hernandez on the right because I thought the games he's played he's looked quite sharp, and I think it frees up Murphy a little bit on the left. It gives him a bit more licence to be a bit wider and a bit more attacking. And I've gone for Oliveira up front because two reasons. First reason is if we are trying to get rid of him, it'll look better if he scored a few goals before the end of the season, and it will bump up his price a little bit because if he hadn't scored for 15 games, it's going to be a struggle to get good money for him. And I think he's a better centre forward than Sibirna. Is that right?
Yeah, that'll do. Dennis.
Yeah. It's difficult for him because he's new to the league, and sometimes centre forwards struggle. But from what I've seen of him, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to make the step up. But hopefully he will do. Ewan Roberts struggled his first season with us, but he had 3 or 4 or 5 years proven in the Championship. So we'll see.
And in terms of Onel Hernandez, what have you made of him? Because I quite like the look of having Josh and Onel on the pitch at the same time.
he's been very positive. I think when they've both played, Murphy and Hernandez, I think we've been a little bit more direct. We've mixed the game up a little bit more, and we've put other teams under a little bit more pressure. I think his end product's still got to be a little bit better, but you could say that about Murph. But I think it gives us a different dimension to overpassing sometimes. I think it gives us a threat, and he does make good runs. Just when he gets there, he's got to just be a little bit more clinical with his final pass and his final cross.
Brilliant stuff, gentlemen. Prediction then for Saturday, Chris?
I think we'll see Wes off with a win. That's what I'd really like to happen. Obviously, we'd all love Wes to score, but I think it will create the mood around the stadium. I think everyone will want to win for Wes, and I think that might make the edge in a game that's kind of a dead rubber. Apart from that,
I'm looking forward to it. Darren, I mean, I know they're both your former clubs.
2-1, Wes Hoolahan score penalty.
Yes. Hopefully, we're not talking about the Preston penalty or any other negatives in terms of Wes Hoolahan. Right, final messages on here quickly. Let's see what we can get through. Rachel Carter, hi guys, hope all's well. Absolutely gutted, Wes Hoolahan leaving. Darren, I saw you at the Take That concert. There you go. You enjoy that?
Never forget.
Paul Greaves, what chance of Tristan Abraham being the first team pitcher next season?
Depends who we've got rid of and who we've got left.
Adam Wright, when are you going to dust the boots off, Hucks, and come show how it's done? I don't know where I mean, you do it at Crinkle for Vets every Sunday.
Just come down there, Easton. Come and show you how to do it.
Love it. Jamie Ward, are we hopeful for next season? I'm not. Chris, are you hopeful for next season?
it's hard to be hopeful when you don't know who's going to be here. Yes? So yes, I'm optimistic, but that's no grounds for that because I've no idea who's going to be in the squad.
I love it. Ian Honeyman, it worked with Jamal Lewis and Adam Ida, is massive, hungry and confident. Is it worth throwing him in now? Who? Adam Ida.
No.
So when all they play, like Tristan Abrahams, get them in, Pierre Fonco, get them in.
It's got to be ready. You know, it's all right saying just chuck him in, but you know, it worked with Jamal because we know what he's good at. He's a great athlete. He can get up and down, but yeah, I think it's very difficult to just throw people in and just hope for the best.
And finally, Craig Brown, Norwich had signed striker Bradley Dack, scored 18 goals for Blackburn, promoted Blackburn, that would be. He will be playing in the Championship anyway next season. I don't think he'll be going anywhere. That is it. That's all the messages. We are done. That is it from us for tonight. Remember, you can catch this show on all our superb Norwich City coverage. It's on the PinkUn Facebook page and YouTube channel, but of course, first and foremost, PinkUn.com. A big thank you to all the crew, to Dan and to Sean. To Chris for joining us, and Darren, thank you so much for coming in. Okay, enjoy it?
Yeah, it's all right. I might do it again, yeah.
Brilliant. We'll have good fun on Saturday doing the proper job with the radio, like that. To everyone here at the Woolpack, much thanks to them, to Joe, who of course joined us, and of course to you guys for watching, for getting involved, for all your Wesley Hoolahan messages and tributes, as well as tributes, and thanks to Darren Huckerby too, of course. I'll be at Carrow Road on Saturday alongside Paddy Davitt and Dave Freezer, so make sure you keep tabs on all the build-up, team news, live coverage, reaction, analysis, and Wes Hoolahan tributes. And if you see us around, make sure you say hello. You may also see some Wes Hoolahan masks around on Saturday. If you get one and procure one, well done. Keep it safe. The PinkUn Show will return next Wednesday, hopefully here again at the Woolpack on Golden Ball Street in the centre of Norwich. We will be live from 7 p.m. as usual. So if you're nearby, pop in and join us in the pub. Grab a pint even. But until then, here's to Saturday. Now, I've been following Norwich City since I was 7. I've been covering the club since I was 26. I've seen a lot of very wonderful players strut their stuff for this football club, and some of them also did it alongside some fantastic loyalty too, like Mr. Huckerby, so thank you for that, Darren. But to me, no one did it for 10 years while repeatedly making me say wow out loud at what they were doing, and making me look forward to seeing the Norwich City number 14 shirt weave its magic spell at Carrow Road, and here, there and everywhere, to be honest. So here's to you, Wesley Hoolahan, a true Norwich City great.
you ever lost against Ipswich?
I don't think so. It's been 9 years waiting for it. It's nice obviously to get the accolade, to be voted by the fans. It's a great achievement for myself and my family. To be up there with Johnny House and Grant Holt has won it 3 times. I'm delighted with it.
Would you say it's been your best season at Norwich City?
I don't know.